So good morning everybody. Today we are going to start new topic which is the last topic in your syllabus, that is planning. And at the end of this our discussion we will combine this planning with constant satisfaction. In last lecture we have discussed mathematical logic which we can use for representing knowledge in AI systems. There are several methods which can be used for representing knowledge, or we say that knowledge representation techniques in artificial intelligence. Very basic technique, primitive technique that we have discussed, that was predicate logic, first order predicate logic knowledge representation. And we are going to use this mathematical logic or first order predicate logic for representing knowledge while understanding different planning techniques. So far, in our course, we have discussed several problem solving techniques like state space representation or state space search. For simple problems, you can use this state space search for solving problems like tic-tac-toe, water jug problem. But if problem is complex, then we saw that you will have to use problem decomposition technique to solve that problem. So in problem decomposition, what we do, again there are two basic ways by which you can solve complex problem by problem decomposition technique. One way of doing that is we will divide that problem, complex problem, into small pieces and then combine those partial solutions at the end into the complete problem solution. In one way of doing this, we avoid having to recompute the entire problem space when we move from one state to the other state. Only part of the state that has changed that we consider, and we call that as frame problem. For example, if we are considering a problem of guiding a robot around a house, the situation is complex and a description of single state is very large, since it must describe the location of each object in that room or in that house. So what we do, uh, given an action on the part of robot, we will consider only the part which has changed, and we know that only small part of the total house or state gets changed, and remaining part or remaining set of objects, they remain as it is. So instead of writing rules that describe transformation of entire state into another, what we do, we write rules that describe only the affected parts, that means the parts which have change of the state description, because the rest of the description can then be assumed that it is same as that of the previous state. So this is one way, and we call that as a frame problem. In the second way, what we do, we decompose that problem, hard problem, into easier set of smaller problems sub-problems we call them. For example, AO star algorithm we have discussed, and in AO star algorithm we decompose that problem into several sub-problems and we tackle them sequentially or parallelly depending upon the requirement. Now let us come to the role of planning. In our everyday uses, the word planning refers to the process of computing several steps of problem solving process before executing any of them. In other words, we can say that there are several methods for doing the decomposition just now I have described. What we will do, we will investigate this decomposition methods and tackling them in this particular topic, that is planning. These planning methods, they focus on how we are going to decompose original problem into appropriate subparts on the way of recording and handling interactions among those subparts as they are detected during the problem solving process. And therefore the use of these methods we call them planning. Because when you divide a problem into sub-problems, sometimes interaction is required in those sub-problems. And you will have to handle those interactions appropriately. We are going to discuss this. You will come to know when we will discuss example. That will be more clear. And we call this problem solving procedure as planning. Therefore, here we are saying that the planning is process of computing several steps of problem solving process before executing them. So before actually implementation, we will organize how we are going to proceed on the subparts, how they will interact, so that finally we will arrive at the solution. In artificial intelligence, planning is about decision making. So some heuristic you will have to use for this purpose. Decision making which is performed by robots or computer programs to achieve a specific goal. So if you will have to visualize this, think of a robot like a rover or navigation robot, how to program that robot for doing a specific task. So for that purpose you will have to write your program design or problem solving by defining an appropriate plan. Now what is execution of plan? Execution of planning is choosing sequence of actions, that means choosing appropriate sequence of actions with a high likelihood to complete the specific task. So you will have a set of actions which robot for example can perform. So planning, appropriate planning method will give you what is the appropriate sequence of proper sequence of actions which can be applied so that a specific goal can be achieved. So ultimately at the end of a plan you will have a set of actions to achieve a specific goal. Now what are various components of this planning system? So we have set of rules. Okay. So what we do, we choose the appropriate rule or best rule we say for applying the next rule based on the available heuristics. So selection of a appropriate or best rule, that is the first step. Then apply that rule that which we have selected previously for computing the new problem state. Like we do that in state space search also. Then detect when a solution has been found. So if you reach to the goal state or goal, then algorithm will terminate. Along with this, you will have to detect, planning technique will detect dead ends, and so that we can save a lot of efforts, unnecessary efforts that we may put. So we will abandon those dead ends by identifying them so that system efforts will be directed in more fruitful directions. Okay, and we will repeat this until we are satisfied with the solution. So we are saying that detect when an almost correct solution has been found. So out here the algorithm will terminate. So these are the general steps which any planning system will follow. Now to understand various planning techniques, what we are going to do, we are going to consider the example of block world, which we have discussed earlier in our unit 1, block world problem. Because the reason is this domain, block world domain, that is complex, and with the help of that you will be able to understand various mechanisms that we are going to propose in this planning techniques. Otherwise, if we discuss simple example, then you will not be able to understand how these different planning techniques they work, or uh, different situations the planning technique can handle. So that is the reason why this block world problem domain is discussed in understanding planning techniques. So to compare different planning techniques, so we are going to use a single domain. Although it looks simple, but that is very complex, or it is complex enough that need for each of the mechanism is apparent, that means planning techniques, and although that can handle a very complex situation, but it is simple that easy to follow examples can be found. So although domain is complex, but that is simple enough so that we can understand working of different planning techniques. So what is the block world problem? Can you recall? Anybody? In block world problem, we have flat surface on which blocks are placed. There are different square blocks which are of the same size, only we will identify them separately by writing names on them. These blocks can be stacked one upon each other, and along with this we will have a robot arm which can manipulate these blocks. So there is a flat surface, like we say that there is a table. On this table we have set up blocks. Now all these blocks, they are of the same size as well as shape, and we will identify these blocks by writing, for example, A, B names on them. Along with this we have a robot hand. I will write something like this. we will call that as robot arm, which can manipulate these blocks. Manipulate means move these blocks from one place to the other place. Now, what the problem is, we have given a set of blocks, for example, something like this. Some initial situation may be given. Suppose this is the starting state. I will call that as start. And you define a goal. For example, I want all these blocks, they should be arranged in this way. First, there will be a block A on table. Then there will be block B on block A. And then there is a block C on block B. So this is the goal state. So initial state is given as an input to the problem. You will have to find out set of actions that robot arm has to perform so that this goal can be achieved. Okay, so that will be the output of your program. Now to understand this, we will be given a set of rules, or we will call them operators. And to represent knowledge of this domain, you will have to use first order predicate logic. So let us move further to understand this situation. In the literature, you will also find out this Blockworld problem is also known as Sussman anomaly. The reason is, in the 1970s, when problem solving techniques were used to solve this problem, in the techniques, initial set of techniques, which you can call them non-interleaved planners. So those techniques, they were unable to solve this problem. Non-interleaved means interaction was not allowed. Interactions among the subgoals was not allowed with those techniques. For example, suppose there are two subgoals like G1 and G2 in Blockworld domain. This non-interleaved planner may produce a plan for G1 concatenated with plan for G2 and vice versa, that is G2 concatenated with G1. And if you try to achieve G1, you will find that you will not be able to achieve G2, and if you achieve G2, goal G2, then you are not able to achieve goal G1, but you need both of them to solve the problem. Therefore, ultimately you will not be able to solve the problem. In other words, for example, to solve the problem, suppose I have one plan, suppose I call it goal G1, sub goal G1, and another one is G2. So to achieve a goal G, I need to achieve G1 as well as G2. So first G1 and suppose then G2. So when I try to achieve this G1, then G2 cannot be achieved. If I try to achieve this G2, if the situation is G1 becomes void, so you will not be able to finally arrive at this G. So that is called as Sussman anomaly. In Blockworld problem, as I told you, we have a flat surface. On that flat surface, we have a table. On that table, we have similar size and shape blocks. For example, if there are 3 blocks and some starting state is given and goal state will be given to you, you will have to convert this starting state into the goal state, and along with this you are given a robot arm. Okay, this robot arm has certain capabilities or actions that it can perform, that we will see. So to understand this, the set of actions that robot arm can perform, 4 types of actions robot arm can perform. First action is on stack AB. Now this is a predicate. Okay, so out here there is a use of first order predicate logic knowledge representation. So on stack predicate we are going to use on stack AB means pick up block A from its current position on block B. So situation might be something like this. Block B is there and here on block B robot arm is there. So robot arm unstack when unstack operation is applied, robot arm will pick up block A from current position on block B. So at the end of execution of this operation, you will have block A in robot arm. So output will be robot arm will have block A and block B will be on table. So that is unstack operation. Unstack AB, what unstack AB will do? It will pick up block A from its current position on block B. Then similarly we have stack operation opposite to this. Place block A on block B. So if you perform stack operation, block B will be there and block A robot arm will be holding, and if you perform stack AB, that arm will put this block A, place block A on block B. So if you suppose this is right hand side situation is the requirement for stack operation. So after performing stack operation, output will be like this. Block A will be on block B. Okay. This is stack operation. Then pick up block A from table and hold it. For example, block A is on table, suppose. Robot arm we have which is empty. So after performing pick up A operation, output will be robot arm will be holding block A. This will be the output after performing pick up A operation. And similar to that we will have put down operation. Put block A down on the table. So for put down operation, if the input is like this, arm is holding block A, put down A, and after executing put down A, output will be which is shown on the left hand side. So block A will be on table. So here you might have noticed at a time robot arm is designed in such a way that it can hold only one block at a time. So only these 4 operations robot arm can perform. Unstack, which will pick up block A, stack, which will place block A, pick up A, which will pick up block A from table, pick up A and unstack AB. What is the difference between these two? Unstack will pick up block from another block and pick up operation will pick up a block from the table. For both this, robot arm should be empty, right? Pick up and unstack operation. If robot arm is empty, then only these operations can be applied. Similarly, stack operation will place block on another block, and put down operation will put block on the table. That is the difference. Stack will place block on another block, and put down will put the block on table. Okay, so these are the actions that robot arm will perform. Now predicates, you will have to define predicates which will describe the world knowledge. So to perform each operation there is a certain requirement that has to be satisfied, and after performing that operation, that will change the state of the system. So specify both conditions under predicates. For example, to perform on stack operation, robot arm should be empty, okay, and that block that you are going to pick up, that should be on some other block. So that is the requirement, and result after performing result of that operation, what will be the output? After performing on stack operation, robot arm will be holding that block which you have specified as a first block, okay. Similarly for stack operation, when you perform stack operation, then robot arm will be empty after performing that, so that will be the result. So to describe all this, we have defined predicates. Now these predicates are on AB, that describes block A is on block B. So this we are going to use for defining the world knowledge, that means knowledge of the current situation, current state of the system. Similarly on table A, so that will describe block A is on table. So if I say on table B, then block B will be on table. On table or on table, so whatever predicates you define. Clear A will describe that there is nothing on top of block A. Holding A, that robot arm is holding block A. Arm empty, so robot arm is not holding anything, that means robot arm is empty. So these predicates we are going to use for defining state of the system. So therefore, now to define any operation, STIP expert system was there, robot problem solving system, and in that STIP system, such a mechanism was proposed. Okay, so we are going to follow this for understanding all these planning techniques. Now, whenever we are going to define any operation means these operations on stack AB, pick up A, put down A. We are going to use three lists. First list is, as I told you, that is the set of predicates which has to be true to perform that action. That means if you have to apply that rule, for example stack AB, then what is the necessary requirement? So that will be defined by add list. So add list will define list of new predicates that operator causes to become true. So after performing that operation, for example, consider unstack operation. Suppose I define it in this way. We have the set of predicates which has to be satisfied written on the left hand side. If you do that, then result of that, suppose that is written on the right hand side. This and this, for example. So whatever we write on the left hand side, whenever we define any rule, so these are the preconditions. Okay, this has to be satisfied, and at the output, after execution of that rule, you get this which is written on the right hand side. So this is the result. So whatever result you are going to get, you are going to define that in the add list. Here conditions that has to be satisfied. This is precondition. We call them preconditions. And if you perform this particular operation, then whatever conditions were true earlier, some of them will become false. So that you are going to define in the delete list. So this type of three list we are going to define. Add list, that means after performing that action, which predicates they are becoming true, that you are going to define in the add list. the conditions which has to be satisfied, that is precondition list. And delete list means after performing that operation, a certain set of conditions which were true, they will become false. So we are going to call them delete list. So we have add list. The operator that causes become true is add list. Then we will have delete list, list of all predicates that operator has made them false. That will be in the delete list. And a precondition list, left hand side rule defines that it will contain predicates that must be true when the operator is applied. So this three list we are going to maintain. Now let us define with the help of this all those four operations. First operation is suppose stack operation. So we will generalize this. So we will define that as stack x comma y. So these x and y are variables. They can take different values. Possible values means name of the blocks. So stack xy will, what stack xy will do? Stack xy will place this block on block y. So what is the precondition required when you are going to perform stack x on y? So let us visualize this in this way. Suppose x is a and y is b. So this operation will become stack ab. So to perform this operation, robot arm should have this block A, right? And on the table there will be block B. After performing this operation, robot arm will stack this A on B. So it will look like this. So precondition is robot arm should be holding block A. So therefore in precondition list P we are going to call it, we have defined holding A or holding X. That means robot arm is holding X. If robot arm is holding X and Y is clear, what is clear predicate? Already we have defined clear A means there is nothing on top of block A. So therefore, if Y is clear, now Y is B we have here, X is A and Y is B in this example. So if robot arm is holding A and there is nothing on block B, then you can apply this rule stack XY, stack AB. So what will be the output? Robot arm will be empty. So therefore arm empty predicate we have defined. Add list will contain now A means add list. Add list will contain arm is empty and block A will be on block B. So on XY already we have defined. On AB means block A is on block B. So another predicate which will become true is X is on Y. X is A in this case and Y is B. So on AB. So this is the output that you are going to get. So therefore add list will contain arm is empty and block A is on block B. Then because of this, some of the predicates which were true earlier, they will become false. So what is that set? Delete list. B is clear because there is block A on block B. So clear B and holding X, that will become false because holding A was true. Now holding A is false. So therefore delete list will contain holding A. So holding A will become false and clear B will become false. Earlier they were true. So after performing stack xy operation, clear B will be false and holding A will be false. So this is how stack operation you are going to define by defining precondition list, delete list and add list. Similarly, now define unstack xy. So what is the requirement for unstack xy? What unstack xy will do? It will uh, remove this block x from block y. So that means x is on y. Okay, x is on y, and uh, when you perform this unstack operation, robot arm will pick up this block x, right? So that will be the unstack operation. So what is the requirement for unstack operation? Now let us visualize it. Block, suppose x is A and y is B. So block A is on block B. So block B is on table and block A. And here we have robot arm. So precondition is A should be on Y. So on XY. There should not be any block on block A, because there might be a case some other block is on block A. In that case we cannot perform unstack operation. So this A should be clear, therefore. So therefore another condition that has to be satisfied is clear A, and this arm should be empty. So this is, we have defined that as precondition, set of preconditions which has to be true if this unstack operation has to be performed. So x is on A is on B on xy, clear A, and arm is empty. After performing this operation, what will be the situation? Block B will be on block on table. The arm will be holding block A. So clear B. There is no block on block B. So because of this, what predicates, set of predicates, they will become false. Arm empty will become false because it is not empty now. So arm empty, and delete list will contain arm empty. Similarly, A was on B. So that will also become false because A is not on B now. So on AB will be again in the delete list. Okay. So this is unstack operation for which we have defined PDA, that is preconditions, delete list and add list. Similarly, for pickup operation, when you are going to pick up a block from a table. Now when pickup operation is performed, if block A is suppose on table, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will put this lecture on YouTube. So the part which you could not hear properly, that you go through that recorded lecture. Okay.
Okay, sir.